Welcome to the Tips Podcast, Life Beyond Narcissism. I'm Tips and I'm so glad that you are here. This is the first episode, and today I'm going to start by sharing a bit about what this podcast is about, why I'm doing it, and why I decided to hit record today. Okay? All right. So, first off, let me just say that this podcast is going to be real. No scripts, no filters, just me talking about my life, my struggles, and the stuffs that I have learned along the way. But before that, let me tell you a bit about why I'm doing this in the first place. A bit of a backstory. Growing up in an Indian household, I had no idea what the term narcissism really was. See, even to tell that word itself is so difficult. The only thing I knew when I was a kid, like there was something not right, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. It wasn't until very much later, like in only in 2018, when my parents were diagnosed by professionals as someone who has narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, the reason how they got diagnosed in the first place, it's a very long story and I will share in the next and upcoming episodes. But the whole point was the reality that I was living in wasn't a reality, but an illusion that my parents created to control and manipulate me. But here's the thing, I have spent so long just trying to understand like what actually happened in my life. But the crazy thing is that I have spent so much more longer time until today just trying to figure out how to heal from it. And that's what this podcast is all about, sharing my story, unpacking the mess, and helping others who are navigating their own version of this. It's going to be messy and painful, but I will try my level best to be as transparent and real with you guys. In this space, it's just not going to be me talking, so don't worry. You'll also hear from my friends who had to deal with me and my baggage for years. They will tell you what it's like being in my life and honestly how they have helped knowingly and unknowingly survive this crazy ride. Another thing is, I will also be diving deep into what it's really like growing up in a narcissistic household. Like, you can say tips. What do you mean that it's different? Yes, it's very different for someone who grew up in a narcissistic household. Your reality and what you go through is not the same as mine. And trust me, it's not like your average household stories. I am ready to talk about everything, the things that you never really talk about in public, and also the things that we should start talking in public. I will also share the tough lessons and the tough things that happen in my life and ways that I'm still learning to put myself back together. Because, in simple terms, that when you grow up in a narcissistic household, you grew up with a lot of trauma, and the trauma is what that we are trying to unpack in a healthy way. And if you are dealing with any of this or just curious about like what it's like, I hope this space helps you to feel seen and heard, because you are not alone. For the past 24 years of my life, I grew up in so much of chaos that probably the only unique thing about me is that I have developed this ability to determine a person's mood just by their footstep. The person do not have to talk to me. I just know with their footstep like how angry they are, what is their mood like, because that's how I survived. Imagine walking on an active landmine 24/7. There is no room for error. If I'm here talking to you guys, which means I have successfully um, I mean, successfully, basically, how to say, avoided as much as landmine as possible in order to just be here. See, it took me a long time to even compose myself to talk about my trauma and also to be able to accept the fact that I was just a kid back then. It wasn't my fault. I was not responsible of parenting my parents. But it's not easy, to unlearn something that has been programmed in me for years. And that's what we're going to talk about. That's great. In future episodes, we will go deeper into what it's like navigating those family dynamics, how I'm trying to break free from old patterns, and what it's like trying to figure out who you really are after all this. And of course, I'll be talking to my friend and soon my sister about the challenges they have faced alongside me. Because this journey isn't just mine, it's something like we all carry. Being members of the society, I think a lot of people say that, okay, this person is like this because of their childhood trauma, they become this. But I'm here to debunk the fact that, yes, you can have a very bad childhood, but it shouldn't determine who you are. You have the power to decide that I am done and I'm going to break this generational traumatic cycle. It's up to you to make the decision. It's not an easy decision, and I'm so proud of you if you decided to just take the first step into making a change. I mean, that's what we're going to talk more and more in the upcoming series. And that's all, guys. Thank you for listening to the very first episode of the Tips podcast, Life Beyond Narcissism. I'm really glad that you are here, and I hope you'll stick around for the next one. If you can relate to anything I said or just want to hear more, make sure you hit the subscribe and follow along. Until then, take care of yourself. You deserve it.